welcome to Making Meals with Mika. Before we begin, if you haven't liked or subscribed to my page, please do so now. Thank you, appreciate it. So today I am making Jiffy dressing. I am here to prove and dispel the nasty rumor that's been going around in the African American community for years that Jiffy cornbread cannot be used for dressing. So for everybody out there that said Jiffy cornbread cannot be used for dressing, I'm calling bullshit on that. And I'm calling bullshit because I make Jiffy dressing and my dressing is delicious. Every person who has tasted my dressing, whether it's been for Thanksgiving, birthday parties, whatever, has said that my dressing is delicious. And it's not until after they tell me that it's good that I tell them that it's Jiffy. So for all of you out there that has this mindset that you cannot use Jiffy cornbread in your dressing, I need you to go ahead, follow this recipe to a T, and then let me know what you think afterwards. Now, I normally do not do the name brands in my videos. However, I know how y'all are. I'm going to tell y'all every specific thing that I use, so if you follow this recipe, you'll be good. But what I don't want you to do is, I'm telling you exactly what I'm using, and then you go to the store, get your own ingredients, then come back and say, well, I made Mika's dressing and it was not delicious. No, lies. We're not about to do that. So for my dressing recipe, this is what I use. I use 2 boxes of Jiffy cornbread mix. I start with about 8 cups of chicken broth or stock. I like bouillon personally because it has more flavor. If you want to make your own stock, that is totally up to you. Butter. I use 2 cans of Campbell's cream of chicken. Okay. I also use stovetop stuffing. Yes, I do. Did you guys know that stovetop is nothing but seasoned breadcrumbs? So, and I use the savory herbs. Now you can mix and match all you want to. Mix and match all you want to. What I'm saying is I use savory herbs, okay? A whole onion, 1 whole bell pepper, and 3 stalks of celery. I also use ground thyme and ground sage. Now when you get to the store, you might see something called rub sage. Then there's a difference between ground and rub. Ground is powder. This is powdered sage. The rub sage is more herby, so you can see the actual herbs. And to me, it takes a lot more of the rub sage than the ground sage. I also use salt and then pepper. So I'm going to zoom this in. I'm going to show you my pan on how I do everything. And this is how I bake my dressing. Now, when we first start, I am not a lover of bell pepper. I know you guys are like, oh my God, Mika, you don't like mushrooms, you don't like bell pepper, you don't like cilantro. I do not. But here's the thing. Bell pepper, you have to use bell pepper in dressing. You know, it is part of your mirepoix. It's part of, you know, the holy trinity, which is bell pepper, onions, and celery. I grew up, my mom put it in everything. But I have learned a trick to putting the bell pepper in my dressing that makes it absolutely delicious. I don't like the texture of bell pepper, so I'm going to show you guys a trick to what I do to make my dressing delicious. So if you guys are ready to start, let's make this dressing, and I need you to come back and tell me, what do you think? All right, let's get started. Now, when you first get started, you are going to prepare the cornbread like it says on the back of the package. So, prepare your cornbread like it says on the back of the package, okay? We're going to do 2 boxes. So, prepare your cornbread. While your cornbread is baking, you are going to saute your bell pepper, your celery, your onion. So, you're going to start with a hot skillet. I like to use a cast iron when I'm cooking my dressing. I don't know. My grandmother used a cast iron when I was growing up. My mom had a cast iron. So it just puts me in the, you know, the holiday mood. So this is a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to add my bell pepper. You hear that sizzle? Add my celery. And add my onions. And you can already smell the deliciousness. I've also have about 5 cloves of garlic in here. So what I did was I put these in the food processor to chop them. If you don't have a food processor, you're just going to dice 1 whole bell pepper, 1 whole onion, 3 stalks of celery, and you're going to come and then you're going to saute these until you can smell the aroma. They're going to get nice, soft, and translucent. So keep them on the heat, continue to stir, and you're going to saute these until they're nice, soft, and translucent. So this is when you know your mirepoix is done, because the surface area has shrank quite a bit, but everything is nice and soft, and it smells absolutely delicious. So once you get to this point, we're going to take this and we're going to put this in a blender with about a cup of chicken stock, and we're going to make a puree. I have placed my sauteed mirepoix in my blender cup. I'm going to add about a cup of the chicken stock. And then I am going to puree this until it's nice and smooth. Now please forgive the noise. This is the consistency that you're looking for. You don't want any big chunks. You want a nice consistency like this. No one wants to bite into dressing and has huge chunks of bell pepper, celery, or onion. This is the consistency we're looking for. Now we're ready to rock and roll. Now it's time to assemble the dressing. I have zoomed in on my pan because I want you to see the consistency of a great dressing. So you're going to start with your 2 boxes of baked cornbread. This is how mine look. Look at that. Nice, beautiful, golden brown, okay? I'm just going to dump this right in there. See how that just fell in there? Now, when you're making dressing, don't be afraid to use your fingers. You know, get in there, crumble this cornbread up, okay? Crumble it so it's nice and crumbled. All right. Then you are going to add your breadcrumbs. Sprinkle those in there. Okay. And remember, that's the savory herbs. Now this is when I start mixing. All right, that's all nice and mixed. Then you want to add, this is sexy right here. Look at that. Woo wee. That is the vegetable puree. So this is the bell pepper, the celery, the onions, and the garlic, all the flavoring right here. And then cream of chicken, okay? Just go ahead and put both cans in there. It's already smelling like Thanksgiving. You guys know the smell of Thanksgiving. You know the smell. That's what my house smells like, Thanksgiving, okay? So we have all that. Now, what I do right here is I'm only going to approximate. You have to use your taste. I'm going to add, this is the sage. I'm going to start with 4 tablespoons of sage. Did you guys know that on your can, this is a leavener? So you put your teaspoon in there. If you run it across like that, it levels it. I'm going to start with 4. I love the taste of sage. I like sage dressing. So 4 tablespoons of sage, and I'm going to come in with 2 tablespoons of thyme. Okay. Ooh, it smells delicious in here already. And now what you're going to do is, in order to adequately incorporate this, you're going to slowly start adding your chicken stock. Now, I said that I started with 8 cups. 1 cup went into my puree. And this is all by eye. You have to measure, you have to just constantly look at it and use your eye. So, immediately that bread is going to soak up. It's going to soak up that stock. Like, where did the stock go? That cornbread soaked up that good stock. Now you're just going to continue to mix. You have to make sure this is all incorporated. See that? This is nowhere near enough stock yet. But you want this nice and creamy. The consistency you're looking for is, I would say, like an oatmeal consistency. See that? It's too dry. So, here we go. More goodness. This smells so delicious right now. So I'm just ladling this in. You don't want to dump it all in at once, you guys. Slow and easy. Patient. You want to make this delicious. So you got to have your patience used. You got to eyeball it. So you can see with the broth pooling up right here, that's going to give you an indicator that it's soaking through. Now, I'm not going to fast forward the camera or anything. I want you guys to see this whole process. Now, many people, they add eggs, put 5, 6 eggs in your dressing. Nope. The only eggs that I add in my dressing are the eggs that made up my cornmeal, my cornbread. And that's because I like my dressing spoonable and creamy. If you add eggs, it makes it stiff. I am not a fan of stiff dressing. So as you guys see, the texture is coming around. You see that? Now I can start stirring it. It's a little, to me, it's still a little too thick. And don't worry if something spills over, just go tuck that back in. It smells delicious. Now, before I add any more broth, which I'm gonna need some, this is where I add my salt. Now, I'm not going to go heavy on the salt because my bouillon already has salt. My salt and my pepper. And remember, you guys, I don't really give, I just approximate. Because it's all about your taste preference and it's all about what you like. For the recipe purposes, I'll put in an approximate. But that's the thing to cooking. You have to cook based off of your taste. You can follow a recipe all you want, but you have to be willing to be flexible with the recipe. Now, right now, this is looking great. I'm going to add a little more stock. And that might be it right there. And now I have to slowly, see, because it's kind of spilling over. That lets you know that the bread has absorbed that good chicken stock. You want to mix it all in. And I'm going to keep going until it's all mixed in. Feel free to fast forward this part of the video if you like. But I'm not going to fast forward it for you. Because I just want you to see the process that I go through. Now, can you see this consistency? It's kind of like an oatmeal. Okay? This is the consistency that you want. this oatmeal creamy consistency. Now, the good thing about this is everything in this pan is fully cooked. Okay, Tamika, why are you telling me that? Because you can taste it. And this is where you do your taste test. This is where I said you guys have to be flexible when you're cooking. I have my clean spoon right here. Now, don't double dip. Now, if you taste this, and you know it's not quite right, you have to go back and retaste it. I'm gonna need you to get another spoon or wash this off. So I'm just gonna get about this much to taste it because everything in here is already done. Oh my goodness. Now I've made this so much to know what I'm lacking and I don't have to retaste it. So that's when you know you're good and you can just eyeball it. So I'm going to add just one more teaspoon of sage because I like the sage flavor. Okay? So I've put in 5 teaspoons of sage. Put just a little bit more. So y'all throwing me off, got me using teaspoons or whatnot. Normally I just go ahead and shake it in there. I eyeball it. Put a little bit more sage and just a little bit more black pepper. But I can taste all the flavors. I mean, it tastes like Thanksgiving, you guys. It tastes like Thanksgiving. All right, so this, yeah, that's good right there. I don't have to taste it again because, like I said, I've made this so many times. I know what it was lacking. But this is good. I'm going to make sure I get all the seasonings mixed in. Okay? And this is what your dressing should look like before you put it in the oven. Now what I do is, because I like to get those nice crusty edges, I go through and I just smooth it out. Smooth it out. Look at that. Yeah, that's going to be good. Ooh, that's going to be good. Let me go ahead let me get a little bit off the spoon. Taste it. Yeah, that's good right there. That's delicious. So, this is about to go into a 375-degree oven for about 45 minutes. Now, the baking time on this, you have to eyeball it as well. I'm saying 45 minutes. I need you to check it at 20 minutes. Check it again at 30 minutes. And you want to make sure that everything is solid and cooked, but it's not dry. So I'm going to put this in the oven and we'll come back for the finished product. The dressing is out the oven and it was in there for about 40 to 45 minutes. This is exactly what you want your dressing to look like. You see it's nice and crusty around the edges. That's the delicious part. And then you want to be able to spoon in here and get that texture. You see that steam? You see that steam? And you can spoon this dressing. So guys, I have a huge surprise. 2 of my friends came over to test my theory. They've never tried Jiffy dressing before, so they have come over to test my theory that this dressing is delicious. And here's the thing, I am not going to edit this part. They're going to come in, you're going to see them taste it, and then give me their honest opinion. So we got Miss Monica, come on in. You guys say hi to Monica. And you guys should be familiar with this face. We got Rashida, come on in, rah-rah. All right, so ladies, I want to give y'all a nice, y'all like the crust or like the middle? What I like the middle. Okay, rah-rah likes the middle. So we'll go right on in the good middle. I'm gonna give you a nice heap of the dressing. Look at that steam. You see that steam? All right, we're gonna get you a little cranberry sauce. What you want the corner, the middle? What you want?
I want the crust.
She wants that good corner. Now see, I already know it's delicious, so I don't even gotta taste it. But I'm gonna go ahead and see it's not dry. I like my dressing spoonable. You don't have to cut it. Okay, hold on. Let's give her some.
There you go.
Now I would ask that you just try a little bit without the cranberry sauce and then go ahead and try it with. Now I'm gonna stand back because I don't want y'all to feel pressure to say it's delicious. Okay? Now they just go ahead and try it.
Okay. Oh my goodness. That is
I'm
good.
gonna say,
Okay.
I was not expecting it to taste good because it's Jiffy dressing.
Not this good.
I was a
This
naysayer.
is amazing.
So-
I was a naysayer.
She was a naysayer, but I mean, so is it
It's
delicious?
delicious. This is good.
I told y'all.
It's
I
the
told you.
bomb.
It's the bomb.
It is.
We did that.
It's really good.
That's it. And listen, did I pay y'all? Did I
No.
touch your hand?
No, but if you want to pay me, you
I'm
can.
trying to
I will take payment too.
Now listen. So if you have never tried Jiffy dressing before, or if you got people in your family telling you, "Oh, you can't have Jiffy for dressing," these two are here to prove that it's a lie. This is actually delicious. Go ahead, try the recipe. I'm asking you guys to try this recipe. Come back, leave a comment. Let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down, what you thought about it. But until next time, thank you for tuning in to Making Meals with Mika. Don't forget to like and subscribe.